In Beijing, you're surrounded by imperial tradition. Perhaps 5,000 years of civilization and revolutions.
The thing about Beijing is I feel like I walk around a random corner and then bam, there's just culture and history in front of me.
The ABC is back in China after 5 years. And living here, you also notice there's a silent revolution. This city is electrified. Around half of all new cars sold here are EVs. You can spot them by their green number plates. And the country has been transformed.
When I first came to Beijing in 2008, I was really struck by how loud and chaotic it was, and also the level of pollution. Some days I'd walk outside and you could taste it in your mouth, you'd choke on it almost. Now, nearly 20 years later, coming back here, it's like it's a new city. The air is so much cleaner. Just look up at the sky, for example. And yes, it is still really busy, but we're in the heart of Beijing CBD now. And have a listen to how quiet it is. That's the impact of an electric society.
China is the undisputed global leader of electric vehicles. Almost 75% of the world's EVs are made here. And this didn't happen by accident. As far back as 2001, China identified EVs were the future. They invested billions, learning how to make better, smarter and cheaper EVs. And now China dominates the global supply chain too. On Foreign Correspondent, we're going to take you across China.
This is my first time ever driving an EV, and it's also my first time ever driving in China.
To see how this country built an electric revolution and what that means for the rest of the world. Welcome to the Beijing Auto Show. It's the biggest car show on the planet. About 50 football fields in size, and almost all the cars here are electric.
Yesterday, I tried to walk the entire show. I only got through 3/4 of it, and I'd already walked 12 kilometres, so it's absolutely massive.
You're about to see things you never even thought were possible. There's jumping cars, EVs in freezers, fridges in EVs, TVs in everything, and then there's this.
Does it fly yet?
Yeah, fly the sky.
So this is a car, just not the type that you might realise. This is actually a flying car. It is without a pilot, as you can see. It's fully automated, and regular people like you or me could buy one of these. In fact, they will go on sale at the end of this year.
They can say it all sounds crazy.
This thing measures nearly 5.3 meters in length.
Ethan Robertson hosts the Wheelsboy channel on YouTube.
If you want to know what the pulse of the global car industry is, you've got to be in Beijing.
Ethan's been watching the EV transformation happen in front of him, living in China for the last 12 years. The largest attraction here is Build Your Dreams, or BYD, the world's #1 EV brand.
We're in a hall where all of these brands are part of the BYD group. From a car that costs less, well under $10,000 US, all the way up to supercars, electric supercars that cost in excess of $250,000.
BYD's newest tech will charge their cars faster than ever before.
This is the latest version, which is going to have BYD's megawatt flash charging system. And so that's going to charge the battery from 10 to 70% in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I promise you, I've seen it with my very eyes. It's kind of unbelievable.
Extreme luxury.
Yes.
Extreme luxury is now being offered in Chinese EVs relatively cheaply.
It's a meme in China. It goes, I believe it's 冰箱彩电大沙发, which translates to fridge, big screen, sofa seats. So if you don't have a big screen, a refrigerator that also heats things, by the way, and individual seats with heating, cooling, massage, zero gravity, and everything else, you are uncompetitive. Your car is just not going to move off the lot.
That's the standard now.
That's the standard now. So long as these other manufacturers from other countries struggle to produce electric vehicles with the technology and the features and the price, most importantly, that consumers around the world want, I think they're going to lag behind the Chinese.
Look at this. This is the kind of size that I need as a 5-foot person.
And it'll only cost me around 10,000 Australian dollars.
Pop one of those in the suitcase, can we, boys? I'll take it home.
China's car market was once dominated by foreign brands. But now their sales have plummeted in the face of cheaper and more high-quality Chinese-made EVs. When Bill Russo moved to China 2 decades ago as an executive for one of the gas-guzzling American car brands, he saw the future was electric. He's now a leading EV strategist across the world.
So why should people elsewhere in the world care at all about what's happening here?
Because it's going global in a big way. China made 34 million cars last year, 7 million of those, so about 20% of what it built was actually sold outside of China.
But this wasn't by accident, was it? This was part of a plan.
Yeah, but it was a plan that executed over decades. The plan part was, let's break the dependency on the energy supply chain that China doesn't dominate, which is oil and gas. The entrepreneurial part of China said that we can be leaders. We don't have to catch up. We can leapfrog and become leaders in the next generation of 21st century auto tech. They're introducing a whole new product configuration to the world, which is the smart device on wheels, a moving living space with digital connectivity features. That's the really transformative innovation coming from China.
Is that what makes them so attractive here?
Go around, ask people how much do they cost. Those prices are nothing like anything else in the world. Let's just say it's 100% tariff. I double the price. They're still cheaper than many cars. They're still cheaper than the average price of a new car sold in the United States.
If you have a smart car, then it could be collecting data. And that's been a sensitive point outside of China.
That's something that we hear a lot from in Western markets, this concern that people's data, which is intrinsically linked now inside their cars, can be accessed.
It's got certainly some data security risks associated with where and how information is being used. But I wouldn't say that the rest of the world's view of China is that's all they're doing with it, that they're collecting data and they're targeting people with it. That is not the truth. That part of the story gets overblown.
How are Chinese companies going to approach that, given that it is such a big concern, particularly in Western markets?
You shouldn't say, lay down and let China control everything. We should flip the script and let China come in with guided rules of how they can collaborate in the overseas markets. We should compete with it. The global auto industry shouldn't block China. They should race at the speed of China.
Can they?
Not at the way they're doing it today.
Looking around, it sure seems like China has the upper hand. Luckily, I found a place to let it all sink in.
I'll catch you guys later.
To see where some of these cars are made, we've come to Hefei. It's home to 10 million people, 10 hours south of Beijing. "20 years ago, it was the capital of a poor farming area. Now, it's an EV manufacturing powerhouse. But life here seems pretty relaxed.
Okay. Oh, the wrong way.
China went all in on EVs in 2011 with a plan to be the world's best. The government bankrolled hundreds of billions into building infrastructure, funding new car brands and developing new technology. Here in Hefei, that money was spent luring car companies to the region. Like many other Chinese cities, Hefei wants to be known as the new Detroit. Last year, Hefei produced more electric vehicles than any other place in China, nearly 1.4 million cars. And the government's plan here, now known as the Hefei model, has set the benchmark that other cities now aspire to. The Hefei government also invested in private EV companies like NIO.
Hello, I'm Allyson. Nice to meet you too.
Young Eve from NIO is taking me on a tour of the company's manufacturing plant.
So robots will need to very specifically to put the instrument panel inside of the car.
And I can see there's not a single person in here.
Yes, no single person. The instrument panel is already assembled.
Using local tech, expertise and ferocious competition, this is manufacturing in fast forward. The rest of the world calls it China speed.
I've been to a fair few of these factories around China and I'm still blown away at what they can do. Here at NIO, for example, they can produce one car every minute. So in an average day, that's 600 vehicles. It's staggering.
In China now, it's pretty much standard. Almost all the critical parts is assembled by the robots. So in this factory already it's like over 1,200 robots.
I know you see this every day, but do you still get amazed when you come in here sometimes and look at all of these robots?
Yeah, definitely. It's become more and more smart.
BYD also has a major factory here. It was only 4 years ago they were virtually unknown. Now they're aiming to topple Toyota and in 5 years become the world's biggest car brand. But opening up to the world is still on China's terms, as we found out.
Please don't touch our equipment. We are accredited foreign journalists. I can give you my press card. We are accredited journalists.
We were only filming outside the factory on a public street. After first threatening to call the police, the BYD security then followed us all the way to the airport. I don't want to turn this into a story about journalism, but this is the reality of being a foreign correspondent in China, is that we are often heavily restricted, despite the fact that I'm registered with the Foreign Ministry, I have a press card here, and we are allowed to be here filming on the streets. This kind of intimidation and pressure is something that journalists here regularly face. In China, EVs aren't just about getting from A to B. They're also about lifestyle. I'm in Zhuhai in southern China, not far from Macau. It's a resort city close to the beach. It's even a sister city with the Gold Coast. I'm about to meet a couple who, like so many of China's middle class, have bought their first EV. On a hot holiday weekend, we're clearly not the only ones heading to the beach, even though the water's not quite clean enough to swim in. Since Crystal, an HR manager, and her husband David traded their petrol car for a Chinese EV, this has become one of their favourite spots.
Lovely.
休息，我可以躺在我的这个什么床垫上，或者是我把这个打成单边床的模式，然后打开电视，电影放一部电影，然后我从冰箱里面拿一瓶饮料，打开按摩。打开后排电视，后排娱乐屏打开，避让。
Microphones.
喂。阴天傍晚，车窗外，
农场王。
未来有一个人在等待。
Nice.
The couple bought this car for about $60,000 Australian dollars with the help of government incentives. Tax breaks and cash rebates have supercharged consumer demand for EVs. And owning one is cheaper than owning a petrol car.
这个电车会省钱，省一部分费用。以前燃油车的话，因为担心油耗嘛，就不会去很远的地方，然后就会在附近的地方。然后我们自从有了电车之后，它的这个活动半径就会变大，那我们想开车出去更远的地方玩的意愿就会增加。
China dominates the world in the EV industry. How does that make you feel?
我对我们国家的新能源汽车发展得如此之好感到非常的骄傲。
This is Shanghai. It has nearly as many people as the whole of Australia. And this is where I'm finally getting behind the wheel.
This is my first time ever driving an EV, and it's also my first time ever driving in China. And I'm going to show you this. I'm actually not even really driving. I feel like I really need to put my hands back on the wheel. This is terrifying. So we're going at 80 kilometres an hour right now. Okay, here's the true test. We're about to turn a corner. Oh. I'm feeling slightly terrified, I have to be honest. I know in theory that the technology is here, but I can't help but want to do this myself. I feel like I trust myself more. In fact, I'm gonna stop. I need to. I've taken back the control.
You might be wondering how you charge your EV in China. The answer is, it's easy. Infrastructure is a national priority. There are chargers everywhere.
This is just a small shopping centre, and I can see what looks like at least 50 chargers here. That's pretty standard for China. And you've got to imagine how many shopping centres there are for a country of 1.4 billion people.
And there are other solutions. Neo also lets you swap your battery. Drive in, dump the old battery, and a freshly charged one is installed.
You can see it's going through the steps. We're about halfway through. I can hear it's doing something. Battery's out now. There it goes, into the car. Yep, you can feel it.
电池换好了。
And that's it. Look, a little over 4 minutes to change the battery. Honestly, it's taken me longer to fill up a petrol car before. It's actually just incredible. And now we can go.
Shanghai is a global hub of EV development, and most of the world's traditional car companies are embracing the inevitable. They need to work with China. Like European brand Renault, who don't even sell cars here.
你好，小新.
Hi, 你好, very good Chinese.
Thank you, thank you. I'm excited. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Oh.
Xiaoxing is from Renault's research lab in Shanghai. Today, he's giving me an incredibly rare sneak peek inside.
So, Allyson, now where you here is about our lab. So we call them the garage lab. We do the innovation research and the projects here. So I'm afraid you need to leave your phone and equipment here.
Okay.
It's forbidden to take to the lab, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, let's go. No.
See you soon.
See you.
We can't show you, but inside are prototypes and tightly guarded tech, which Renault says will let them develop cars 3 times quicker than ever before.
How is what Renault is doing here keeping it competitive in an international market?
When we're talking about China's speed to develop an EV car, the time will be, let's say, around 20 months. China has the most mature supply chain around the world regarding the EV cars. Means if you want to design a car, you want to build a car, you can find any parts you want in China. You do not need to go outside China.
This is the first EV Renault developed in China. Smaller, cheaper, and designed to compete with a wave of Chinese imports to Europe. With subsidies in France, it could cost about 23,000 Australian dollars.
Because that now China is the most competitive market in the world. So you cannot run away. You cannot hide. You need to embrace it. Because like if you don't embrace it, but your competitor embrace it, you will lose. We don't want to lose. We need to win.
We're back in Beijing, where this EV revolution was planned. But in some ways, it's been a victim of its own success. In the last couple of years, prices were slashed after overproduction flooded the market and companies went bust.
It's locked. Oh no. I locked you out too. G'day, I'm Allyson.
Hey, Allyson.
I'm sorry, I
Nice
locked
to meet
you out.
you. No problem.
I'm still finding my way around this car, okay?
There's a lot going on.
Analyst Tu Le grew up in Detroit before a stint in Silicon Valley led him to China to work with local car makers.
There have been a lot of EV startups, for example, that have gone bust here in China. Why is that?
Well,
Is it government incentives drying up, or is this just natural competition?
I think that most people would argue that not enough of them have broken up. Last year, the Chinese government kind of had to intervene because the level of competition here is so intense. So not many Chinese EV companies are profitable. And so it would be healthier for the industry for more of these companies, poor performing companies, to go out of business. But that also creates the pressure to export.
When you look at China, how has it built itself to be an EV society?
The fact of the matter is the Chinese market, I want to say over 80% of all vehicles sold in China are under 300,000 RMB or under $45,000. So most of these brands that that you'll see on the streets, they live in the mass market. And, I think that's one of the big reasons adoption has been so high, not only through the government encouragement and investment, but also because they've made, companies like BYD have made them very, very affordable.
Can you see a scenario in the future where everyone is driving an EV, where combustion cars are no longer a thing?
I do. And I think that 50, 60 years from now, we're going to look at this last period of time, 10, 15 years, as some of the most innovative in the transportation history, full stop.
Now, a car story wouldn't be complete if I didn't track down the local rev heads. On this suburban Beijing racetrack, where everyone's driving a Xiaomi EV, I'm about to do some hot laps. There's already been a smash today, and hearing the car club's boss firing up isn't filling me with confidence. Thankfully, my driver, Ju Ying, isn't your typical hoon.
Why do you come out here and do this racing?
就你在那个时速下，其实脑子里面是没有办法想其他的东西，我只想征服它。就是我觉得这个第一是让我很有成就感，第二就是速度带来的那个肾上腺素的那个爆发，我觉得会让人很舒适。
All right, can you take me for a drive now?
可以啊 ，OK， 好的。
It takes about 10 seconds to hit 250 kilometres an hour in this machine. Only 2 years ago, Xiaomi was just a tech company, known for their mobile phones and robot vacuum cleaners. Now they build one of the quickest cars on the planet.
That was amazing, but terrifying.
我觉得挺自豪的，就是我们能以50几万的价格，然后开上这样一款车，然后这到1500匹，以前可能是那个布加迪的那个性能，就是它至少是要几千万的，我们现在以1%的价格，然后开上了跟它性能差不多的一款车。
Wherever I go in China, there's an enormous sense of pride in this homegrown industry. China is no longer just the manufacturing workhorse of the world. Now it's the designer, innovator, and leader.